What is going on, you guys? I hope you guys are having a great day. And we are now continuing my Jurassic Park movie review series with 1997's The Lost World Jurassic Park. This movie came out about 4 years after the original Jurassic Park because the first one was such a huge hit. They even begged Michael Crichton to make another book, even though he didn't want to make a sequel to the first book. But they begged him to, and he did. The book became a success, and Steven Spielberg came back to direct the second movie, which was this one. And I gotta tell you, this movie is very interesting. Now, the movie stars Jeff Goldblum as he returns for his role as Ian Malcolm once again, as he's hired by Hammond, the creator of the first Jurassic Park from the first movie, to go to another island where they were breeding animals. They're breeding new dinosaurs, and they're asked to study them as they were supposed to be killed off by some enzyme that was explained in the first movie, and apparently they've evolved from it. So now they're flourishing and they're living happily on that other island. So I gotta say, I'd be lying to you guys if I said that I did not enjoy this movie, because I honestly believe that The Lost World might be just as good as the first one in my mind. I love The Lost World. It's one of the best Jurassic Park movies you can find aside from the first one. And I think that the casting does very good here. Jeff Goldblum returning as Ian Malcolm once again. He's great in the role. I really like his character, even though as a kid I preferred Sam Neill as Alan Grant. I preferred to keep him in the franchise. He's not in here, but Jeff Goldblum returning as Ian Malcolm was honestly really a breath of fresh air in my opinion. I actually really liked him returning to this role. His girlfriend played by Julianne Moore, named Sarah, who was also already on the island, which this is kind of a trope that many films kind of fall under, where his girlfriend was already sent to the island because she wanted to go, and Hammond has kind of used her to get Ian to go as well, which is kind of why Hammond's not that great of a guy. He's kind of a manipulator. But in the long run, this movie got very mixed reception when it came out. It has like a 53% on Rotten Tomatoes. It did earn quite a bit of money. It earned more than enough money for them to want to make another one. So, and I gotta say, just like I said with the first movie, the special effects in this movie regarding the dinosaurs are also really well done here. They're just as good as in the first movie. There is nothing bad that I can say about the special effects in this movie, because the dinosaurs are just as realistic and just as awesome as they were in the first movie. Especially especially the ending with the Tyrannosaurus running through San Diego. That's awesome. That's an awesome scene. That's an awesome thing to watch. Now I'm not sure if they marketed it as the dinosaurs got loose to the mainland, but they did a good job with adding that surprising moment at the end of the movies, and I really liked it. Another thing I will say is that I think that Vince Vaughn, great actor, I did not expect to see him in this movie. And granted, I have to admit something. This was the last Jurassic Park film that I had seen when I was young. I saw the first one when I was like 13, and then I saw the third one later on, and then I saw Jurassic World in the theater, and then I kept hearing people say, "Oh, have you seen The Lost World?" And I'm like, "No, I have not seen The Lost World. Which one's that one?" They're like, "Oh, that's the second one. It came after the first one. It's not as great, but it's still really fun to watch." And so I went and watched it, and I gotta say I had a really good time with it. So this was the last Jurassic Park film that I watched, and now the last one that I have left to watch yet is Fallen Kingdom, which I have yet to see. I still have yet to watch it, but luckily I got the 5 Blu-ray set, so now I can watch the 5th one later on. So guys, if you have not seen The Lost World, I recommend you do. I think it's just as good as the first one. I don't think that it deserves all the hate that people seem to have towards it. And I do think you should read the book too, because I read the book and it's pretty much the same thing as the first one, except I'm not too sure about the T-Rex reaching the mainland. I'm not sure if that's in the book, but it's been a while since I've read the book. I was in high school when I read it, so if you guys are ever interested, I would highly recommend checking out The Lost World. I think it's just as good as the first one. It may not be as iconic or as memorable as the first one, but it's still quite an entertaining watch. And I have to say, this is a small note that I'm going to point out here, because This is something you never hear people say, and you can't talk about a Jurassic Park movie without mentioning the score, because it's one of John Williams' best scores and one of my favorite scores of all time. The score in this movie, specifically The Lost World, is my favorite version of the score. Now, people say, what's the difference? You kind of have to listen to both of them back to back to really know. But the score in this movie, you can tell that the speed is enhanced a little bit. It feels like it was played like a percent faster, and there's like bells, so it feels for some reason it feels Christmassy in a way, which I don't. If you don't see it, then fine. But I have to say, I kind of like it. It feels more adventurous, and I'm glad they never repeated the formula of the first movie, where even though it's people stuck on an island, it's new ideas that are presented here. Like when the velociraptors are running through the tall grass, and you only see like the lines moving toward the people as they're going. So like you see a line of people going, and then you see the three other lines approaching them. That was a really good moment, and I really think this movie is just as good as the first, like I've already said. So, guys, I would highly recommend checking The Lost World out. I'm going to give it the gold star. So, guys, look forward to my next review, which will be for Jurassic Park 3. Got a lot to say about that one. So, guys, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.